What is this scene? Yo, am I getting better at that yet or what? Alright, anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how I burnt the black off myself, okay? So, it's a perfect time for us to compare US prices versus Trinidad prices in healthcare. Stay tuned, it's coming to you right about now. Alright, so I'm Specs, this is Trini Lime Life. Here's what we're talking about today, right? We do a lot of comparisons for what prices are like in the US versus in Trinidad. And I realized that I got to do something else too. I got to talk about the prices for a foreigner spending US money and a local spending Trinidad money, because it's way different, right? And that's going to be a topic that we start to address. But so I had an accident right here in Trinidad. I burnt my legs really bad, and I have to go to the hospital. That's where I'm at now. I'm at San Fernando General Hospital. And so we're going to do a price comparison. How much it costs for me to do something like this in the United States, even with insurance, versus here in Trinidad. I've never been to a hospital visit with or without insurance that didn't cost me thousands of dollars, period. And here in Trinidad, I had this accident last Saturday. I burnt 7% of my body. My legs are burnt really bad. I don't even know if that's something I can show you guys on YouTube, but it's pretty bad. And up to this point, the medication, the treatment, everything has cost me absolutely nothing. I had to go to the emergency room. I've got to come back to this hospital every 2 days to get my bandages redone because, for infection and stuff like that. And it has cost me $0 to do that. You know, what a blessing and what a luxury that is. Now, with that, it comes a lot. It's the medical system here is definitely strained. It's a little bit different when you come here to the hospital. You're gonna wait. I think I waited like 3 hours to get back and be seen, because they triage people, and I have to sit down, my legs hurt. They triage people and they take you by level of importance, right? So if you're bleeding and gushing out blood, you're gonna go back before somebody that has a little bit of a cough. And I think that's one of the the gives that you have to give in the system. I feel like the medical staff here, they're worked hard. These nurses and these doctors, they put in a lot of time and a lot of work. And I talked to one off the record to find out kind of what their salary is. And the salary for a nurse here in Trinidad is about $8,000 a month. If you know the cost of living here, you know that's a struggle for them. That makes it pretty tight, considering that, rent or mortgage could be around $2,000 to $3,000 if you have a family, and then a car might be around $2,500, and that doesn't count food and lights or anything like that. So, $8,000 a month for somebody that went to school for 5 years is not a lot of money. And hopefully Trinidad is going to look into that and get them a raise soon, because I feel like with the cost of living and how much it's going, they really need that. Trinidad, I don't want no smoke, right? There are people that when they talk about stuff in Trinidad, they put one dude up on sedition and stuff like that. So I'm not talking bad about the country. I'm just talking the reality of what it is for people who are living in this country, and how hard it is for them to make it, or how easy it is for them to make it, because some people have it a lot easier. But okay, I'm rambling on. That's what it is. The difference between the US and here for medical and healthcare, there is no comparison really, because here in Trinidad you get your healthcare for free. If you don't want to go through all of the waiting and stuff like that, they do have medical clinics that you can pay for, and they're reasonably priced, because I did that too. When I first came here, I had a really bad allergy outbreak. I had to get IVs and shots and everything, and I didn't come to the hospital. I went to an actual medical center, and I paid about $1,200 to get everything I needed done. So that's about, 180, 190 US, something like that maybe. And which is still very reasonable, you know. So medical and healthcare here in Trinidad is very reasonable. Yeah, that's it. Peace.